What it do, my gente? Your boys coming through once again. And on today's video, I want to talk about the homie Gato, R.I.P. from Vegas Town, man. He wasn't alive like a week ago, and I want to share memories with you guys, how I met him and stuff like that. But also, I want to use this time to bring awareness. I want to bring awareness about CDCR because there's people who have an agenda, right? Who wants to put the blame of what's going on in CDCR on the higher ups. And I have a different point of view. I lived 15 years behind those doors, those walls, right? And I got to experience what being in prison was, right? I seen the culture, and I can tell you the problem is within the yards, within the cultures between the green and the blue. Uh, I'm gonna make this blunt statement and just put it this way: do I believe that people in green care for the life of the people in blue, of inmates? I don't. I really don't. I have seen so many stuff that these individuals are willing to sacrifice the life of an inmate just to make a point. Look what happened in Corcoran when they let all the bulldogs into a yard, right off the bus, and they got jumped by norteños and sureños on camera. That was not an accident. Straight up, man. Uh, right now they have a lawsuit. Corcoran has a lawsuit because of this, and enough is enough. It's time for somebody to speak on this. I know that people who have channels, who were ex inmates, they don't like to speak on this, and I can only imagine why is the reason, man. But it's time to start pulling covers, man, because it is. I don't agree with this, and that's what happened to the homie Gato. I'm pretty sure it has happened to other individuals, man. And it's because the same culture, man. These individuals do whatever they want, and I'm talking about the people with the patches. They do whatever they want, and there's no repercussions, man. And that's why sometimes this happens. That's why people get stabbed, and people complain about it, right? But before we continue with this video, man, don't forget to hit the like, a comment, and if you haven't subscribed on this channel, man, hit the subscribe, por favor. On the comment, let me know what you think about this. Do you have any experience with when you were an inmate, with a family member who was an inmate? If you're a CO, do you have any experience with inmates? Because inmates could be an assholes too, or, there's a lot of inmates who are assholes. Just keeping it real, right? Or maybe an experience with the coworkers who was acting up too much, or maybe if you were acting up too much, tell your experience why you do it, or was the motive behind it, right? So talking about the homie Gato, right? And when I heard about his passing, homie, I didn't know what to think, right? I was like, damn, the homie been down for a minute, right? Been down for a minute. I was actually the one who jumped him in, into the hood. It was me and two other homies. I remember we were in a house of this lame. Somebody who was part of the movement, and then he turned on a couple homies testify, and we call them names. That's what we're gonna call them. So we were in his house, right? And man, I remember just kicking it right there, just drinking, and the homies brought up this this guy Gato, right? At that time, he didn't have a nickname. His name was Angel, and he want to be part of the hood. So it's like, okay, like just give us a minute, just kick back for a little bit, just chill, enjoy yourself, and then we'll speak about it, right? So it was actually, he got jumped by but big guys, taller guys, right? Like, and he got jumped by the homie Omar. For those from the hood, they know who's Omar. You know who he is, right? So the homie's, yeah, he was like 19, but that was fucking big, right? Saludos to the homie Omar. He's locked up right now doing 30 years. And we gave him the business. Once we took him out, it was like three of us. Uh, Give him the 13 seconds, and just so he can so we can test his gangster, right? And the guy kept up. He was getting down with us, and we respected that. I mean, that's what we believed, and still some believe that that's the way to go. That's how you test your gangster, and at least when they come across an enemy, I mean, you just got jumped by three individuals. So if you see an older individual who's bigger than you, man, trust me, you always got 3-on-1. So a 1-on-1 is not gonna be nothing, right? So the guy was the homie Angel Gato was running amok. I wasn't there to. We're from this different cities, right? So I wasn't there to know the things that he was doing, but his name, I heard his name through the hood. Like, hey man, the homie's running amok. He's doing this with the other homeboys. Eventually, his family, I believe, they sent him to LA, right? They sent him to LA because he was getting in trouble. I think he got locked up in the juvie. He ended up getting locked up. Whenever he got out, they sent him to LA, thinking that he was gonna kick back, he was gonna do all that stuff. But nah, he went to LA. I don't know what part of LA, but that was what I heard. He went to LA. When he came back, I think he came back like after 6 months. If I'm not mistaken, man, because he came back with some stories, right? The number one story that he had, man, and this is just I'm sharing memories, It's not to be judgmental or nothing, but it's memories, man. It's something that I want to share with you guys, and especially if there's homies from the hood right here, they get to know this. He came back from LA, and the one story, the main story that he always used to say is like he kicked it with the Big Locote from Cuatro Flats, that rapper. That was his story. I don't know if it happened or not, but I mean, I didn't care. I was like, okay, cool, whatever, But that was his story, man. I kicked it with the Big Locote from Cuatro Flats. I think it was from Cuatro Flats, I believe. And eventually after that, man, I ended up getting busted. I got busted eventually. I mean, we go through little periods of when we're kicking it with the homies, and then when we're not kicking it with the homies, doing stuff, that we shouldn't be doing, of course. End up catching a bus. Eventually did my time, my 20 years. I got sentenced to 20 years for doing things that I shouldn't be doing. And eventually that homie right here got caught up with two other homeboys, they sadly unalived somebody. And that's because, I mean, we had a different beliefs back then, and he still practices those beliefs, and some people still do, which at the end of the day, everybody's entitled to do whatever they want. I can only do is share my experience, and that's it. Eventually the homie did what he did. I don't think he was the one who did the stuff. I'm not gonna speak on this like that, but the homie stayed solid. One of those guys ended up testifying on the two homeboys, gave them a LWAP, and there's more to the story, but that was it. They went away. Remember, I was in High Desert when he landed in High Desert, CR, and I think he was just 18 years old, man. He was young. He was 18 years old, and short individual, just short. He was not that big. And I'm like, damn, our homie had an AC. And he was involved in the riot, the crack with the SEALs back in those days. It was crazy. High Desert was a crazy ass spot, man. And eventually, man, he was separated. Everybody did their stuff, He continued doing stuff. And at the end of the day, what I'm saying is that the homie was a good individual, a good people. We are somehow connected because his cousin got together with my cousin. They had babies and stuff like that. So that's how we might know each other, man. But we sent our respetos, condolencias to the family of Angel Carrasco. And hopefully, if they're paying attention to this, hopefully they do what they have to do. Meaning, I believe they should sue CDCR because what they're doing is wrong, and I'm about to expose game on this, right? So for those who don't know, man, it seemed like the homie was done, right? He was done, and CDCR, the cops, you just put it, the floor cops, your captain, your lieutenant, your sergeant, uh, were playing with his life, right? Uh, they didn't let him tap out. They decided to, I don't know, push him. I don't know. Sometimes people, I don't know. I feel like sometimes these individuals, man, is like they want to push you to the limit. Okay, well, if you're done with this, like, okay, well, you have to give me something. You know, I have heard stories of individuals who want to tap out, and the cop for some reason want information or something. You know, and it's like, hold on, man, I don't need to give you information. I don't feel like I have to do that, which they don't. They don't, right? But sometimes when they're you feel that way, it's like, all right, but in that case, you don't want to give me information, I'm gonna send you back to the line, right? And that's I have heard stories like that back to back, man. And this is what happened, you know. Look, I know that CEOs been complaining. I know there's videos about complaining. Man, how many hits on cops? How many stabbings on cops? You know, inmate battery on cop and stuff like that. And people want to speak about this, right? And I do understand, man. There's a gang of them according to the numbers, right? Which those numbers, I mean, can you actually trust them? No, you cannot trust them. But there's numbers. There's people getting hit. But these people are not just getting hit because of that, man. They're getting hit because they're coming with a belief. They're coming with an ideology that is basically green against blue. We have seen that prison guard saying that when he used to go to work, the people in blue were his enemies. Period. We have heard Mundo from the mob channel saying that a cop is never gonna be your friend because at the end of the day they're against you, right? And I do believe that 100%, man, because I have seen many times how a CO, acts like he's a gang member, acts like they don't have no regard towards the life of an inmate, and are willing to push their luck, basically gamble with the life of an inmate just to make a point. And we have seen this many times. Again, Corcoran, the Bulldogs were led into the yard, and they knew what was going to happen, but they did it to make a point, right? What happened to the homie? What happened to Joseph Bonifacio in North Kern, right? Same individual want to tap out. The cops said, Chales, what happened? He became unalive. And right now, this family is doing a lawsuit in North Kern. The people, the Bulldogs, their families are making lawsuits in Corcoran, and I suggest to the family of Gato to do a lawsuit. And whoever has any family members in prison who've been done wrong, do a lawsuit, man. I have seen incidents where a homie hit the cop, right? Got him on the neck a couple times, right? Eventually, somebody came to save the cop. So what do you think happened? You think they just cuff him up? No, they did cuff him up, but not only that, they cuff him up to torture him. They shot him point blank with a big Berta, right on the face. And not only that, the sergeant got on top of him and pulled out his eye. That's facts, man. That's stuff that happened, homie. And it's time to start speaking on this because everybody wants to throw a story out there. Everybody wants to act like they're victims, but at the end of the day, not everybody's a victim. A lot of these incidents that take place because action was taking place or took place, and that was the reaction of it. I seen it many times, man. And I'm telling you, they'll make it difficult. They'll gamble with your life, and that is the men in green for you guys, straight up. I'm not gonna say that every CO is a bad CO. It's not, but I can tell you that handful of individuals They can start with the sergeant, can make a lot of damage, and they have done it. Tehachapi. What about that guy who unalived Flaco, who was a 2-5er? You know, they shot him with the block gun too, close range, top of the head, unalive him, hit him, torture him on the concrete yard. There's a lot of things, man, that these people do, and that they don't want to show to the public. But at the end of the day, man, we are here to put it out there for the people to know, and hopefully you can see the big picture why all this violence is happening. You know, trust me, these cops had to do something for an inmate to react. Uh, there's a low percentage of inmates who just attack a cop just because. It's a low percentage. It happens, but it's very low. Usually, when there's an attack on a cop, and you have seen Mundo and Boxer Enrique speaking on this, the agenda is not to go against the cop, it's not to go against the men in green, but you hear it from that prison guard. Their agenda is basically blue against green. So I just thought I should drop this video. Hopefully you guys can learn something. That's something I want to share with you guys. And I do appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you for the support. To next video. Gracias.